Oh, I don't know, y'all. Tim Scott might just be the top VP pick after this. Wagwan, people, me dead tie. Welcome to my channel, Modern Renaissance Man. I thank all you guys for taking time out of your day to view my content. If you enjoy the content that I put out, make sure you hit this right there for me so that my content can consistently be recommended and shown to you through YouTube. And it also helps push the YouTube channel of mine out there in the YouTube world so others can hear this message that's been so heavily suppressed by YouTube because they don't like free-thinking black Negroes. Let's just keep it real. Anyway, make sure you guys all follow me on the platforms you see listed up here and down here as well, all right? Appreciate it. So, folks, I did a video yesterday telling you guys about Nikki Haley and how she went on ahead and endorsed Donald Trump unofficially by saying she's voting for him and not really giving no significant reasons why, but her biggest things were because Joe Biden was a catastrophe. But at the same time, there's somebody who I I've been looking into and like a lot of things that he's saying. I kind of actually relate to him on a lot of things that he's actually experienced and all that. And who's that? That's Tim Scott, who seems to be somebody that President Trump is very fond of. For those of you that got an issue with me calling President Trump, I don't care. If you got an issue with me calling President Obama, I don't care. If you got an issue with me calling President Clinton, I don't care. You mean former? No, I mean president. You can say former. I'm going to say president. If I meet Barack Obama, I'm going to say President Barack Obama. If I meet President Clinton, I'm going to say President Clinton. If I meet, I already met President Donald Trump. If I meet President Joe Biden, I'm going to say President Joe Biden. When President Joe Biden is no longer president, I will still refer to him as President Joe Biden. Be pissed off about it. Okay? Anyway, folks. Tim Scott is doing some big things in this interview right here that I definitely enjoy a lot of things that he is saying, and it makes a whole lot of sense. Yes, this is a little bit about Nikki Haley voting for Trump, but then I want you to hear what Tim Scott has to say in this particular interview because it's pretty deep. Check it out.
All right, breaking news in the last 24 hours. Former presidential candidate Nikki Haley, in her first public remarks since ending her bid against Donald Trump in the Republican primaries, now says she's going to vote for Donald Trump.
Biden has been a catastrophe. So I will be voting for Trump. Having said that, I stand by what I said in my suspension speech. Trump would be smart to reach out to the millions of people who voted for me and continue to support me.
Senator Tim Scott put his support behind Donald Trump after he dropped off, suspending his campaign, and joins us now. Senator, your reaction to a governor you were very tight with for a while, who became the ambassador, who decided after a couple of months, I'm going to vote for Donald Trump, endorse Donald Trump. Do you feel as though that was full-throated enough?
Well, Brian, certainly she could go a little further. It's not just the disaster of Joe Biden. It's actually the promise of Donald Trump based on his record. 4 years under Donald Trump gives us a record to compare with Joe Biden. But she's joining millions of other Americans coming to the same conclusion that our economy was better under Trump, that our border, there was no crisis, that the fact of the matter that the violence in the streets absent under the Trump years. So we need 4 more years of common sense, 4 more years of law and order, 4 more years of low inflation, and 4 more years of low unemployment. But most importantly, we need a president who closes the southern border, and no one has done it like Donald Trump. Those are the reasons why Nikki Haley and millions of other Americans are joining the Trump bandwagon. It is the place to be, and it's best for America's future.
Senator, why do you think, what went into her timing with this? It's been 2 months since she dropped out, and this has been her first public appearance since then. She met with the donors and the people she was thanking, but this was public. And will it make a difference?
Well, I heard from some of the donors that she met with a couple of weeks ago, and listen, they encouraged her to go ahead and get on the Trump train without any question. The fact of the matter is that our nation it's not just at a crossroads. This is not an important election. This is the election that determines socialism versus capitalism. This is the election that will determine violence in our streets, in our poorest communities, being devastated and ravished by violence, or the restoration of respect for the police, funding for the police, and demanding the deportation of 10 million illegal immigrants starts now under Donald Trump. So coming to the conclusion that she has, we welcome that conclusion. We welcome her on the team. Right. At the end of the day, this is not about Nikki Haley or Donald Trump. It's about the American people.
Ultimately, it's all about winning. And as you know, we've been detailing, ad nauseum, Joe Biden is in trouble with a lot of his core demographics. Young people, way down.
Absolutely.
Hispanics, way down. African Americans, way down. The Biden campaign has just released a brand new ad on social media and elsewhere, and he essentially is attacking Donald Trump over his past performance. Here's 10 seconds of it.
Donald Trump disrespecting black folk is nothing new. He was sued for refusing to rent his apartments to black families and called for the execution of 5 innocent black and brown teenagers.
So, Senator, is something like that going to work? That going to change the tide?
Steve, that is a sign of desperation. I can't think of a more desperate candidacy than Joe Biden. Here's the president of the United States, whose own vice president called him out because he opposed desegregation because of the racial jungles. He didn't want his kids going to school. Here is the president who still supports segregation today. He won't allow poor black kids in the city of Chicago to go to schools in their own city that are good. He wants to keep those kids locked in their own neighborhoods and locked out of their best futures. The last thing President Biden wants to do is have a conversation about his record and his past record. It is disgusting, it is vile, and it is un-American.
So you're on the president's shortlist for VP, and guess what? You're going to be a target. The DNC is launching a Trump MAGA Veep Stakes. That is the headline of this missive picked up by Axios. It's a project to paint all of former President Donald Trump's VP contenders as extremist backers of an ultra-MAGA policy agenda. I'm pretty sure Joe Biden says that every day. So are you ready for the attacks?
Well, Brian, here's what we should know. President Trump and I worked to make sure that historically black colleges and universities had the most resources ever under any president, and he was the only president to make that funding permanent. Here's what we know. Challenging women on The View is something I've done consistently. I'm willing to stand up against those individuals, no matter the color of their skin, who says that because you're a conservative who happens to be black, you must stay in a small corner. I'm going to make it absolutely okay for every conservative, no matter the complexion of your skin, no matter the melanin in your skin, to stand up and celebrate that conservatism works. I look forward to having the fight for America's future. It doesn't matter my title. It matters the passion and the lived life I've had. I've lived the American dream, and I thank God Almighty that a poor kid from the Deep South has a chance to shape the future of this nation, because we believe in fairness as Americans.
And you had your opportunity zones that you put together with the former president, and you'll probably go back to that again.
$70 billion, Brian.
$70
Good
billion.
word.
All right.
It's amazing. You changed the lives of so many people and gave them work. Thank you so much, Senator, for coming on.
God is good.
All the time.
Have a nice
Yes,
holiday
ma'am.
weekend, sir.
Yeah, you heard all that, right? I absolutely love that. There are going to be people that are going to be pissed off about it. I love the fact that he's not scared to take on The View and going on their show and talking with them about it. I've reached out to The View. They won't have an audience with me because I know they had their producers go and check out my channel. I was like, you don't want this guy on here at all. No. Yes, he comes off as being conservative, but he doesn't claim to be conservative, which I don't. I'm not conservative. I'm not liberal. I'm not Democrat. I'm just me. I just think and I talk about what I think, period. So don't try to box me because you can't box me at all. Nobody can do that. All right. Now, I got to say this. In this interview, I love a lot of stuff that Tim said, but there are some things that I disagree with. We don't need 4 more years of law and order. We don't need 4 more years of prosperity, whatever. We don't need 4 more years of blacks being at the best employment rate they've ever been. No, that needs to just be forever. That should be just common sense, y'all. I mean, let's keep it real. That's like saying we need 4 more years of when things were good and law and order was in place. No, that needs to be a forever thing. I don't care who it is, because let's just say President Trump does win come this November. It's going to be more than 4 years. That y'all, let's keep it real. I highly doubt that everything is going to be able to get fixed and done in 4 years. Let's just keep it real. But what we do need, which I tell a lot of people that I think what y'all want to call the right gets it wrong at, when I say the right, I'm talking about Republicans. What I think they get it wrong at is that y'all need to be looking beyond President Trump. Let's just say hypothetically, if right now, if you are having it in your mind that President Trump is going to be the next president, you need to be looking beyond that. Who's going to be the next one after Trump? Who? Vivek Ramaswamy? Will it be Tim Scott? You know, who will be? We know Nikki Haley just stopped. No. Anyway, who? That's who we need to be looking at, because 4 years are going to fly by, folks. Unfortunately, it's going to fly by. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Now, with that being said, who do you have in mind that actually is about law and order? Who do you have in mind that is about, common sense, the truth? Having it to where people, it doesn't matter if you are conservative or if you are liberal. It doesn't matter. Somebody that said, look, think how you want to think, be who you want to be. But one thing we're not going to distract from is the truth. It needs to go beyond Donald Trump, folks. It does. And I know y'all, Trump can save America. No, we the people can save America. And that is done by who we feel like we're going to entrust to lead this country on, right? And as of right now, the country is not doing so well. And no matter what, it flows from leadership. I don't care what anybody say. If my household is not doing well, it flows from leadership. Thank the God that there is a Bible out there that teaches some of the most basic principles that you can learn simply just from being a father, a husband, a wife, a mother. So many things can be learned on that level that this thing can go widespread and help you should you go and pursue things higher, which I am, which you will see. Anyway, point in saying all that, folks, is for him to get to where he is right now, referring to Tim Scott, don't tell me that there's something here that's going to be holding any of you back, especially if you look like me or Tim Scott, because there's nothing there. Nothing. Changed my mind. Anyway, let me know what y'all think about leaving it in the comments below of this video. Don't forget, hit this right there so that my content can consistently be recommended to you and it can be pushed out in the YouTube world where they don't want to see this. You have to be able to do this, folks. Share the video, and I keep on pressing it, and I keep telling y'all because it's very imperative that you do it. If there's anybody that actually think like you and me with common sense, get in your phone. It doesn't take long. Let them know about this channel. Just encourage you to subscribe to it. Even if you just say, look, subscribe to the dude stuff and check it out. I'm telling you, you won't be disappointed. Do that right after this video ends, okay? Appreciate it. Don't forget, I do want to see what you guys have to say in the comment section too, all right? I am Ty Smith, Modern Renaissance Man, and I hope and pray every last one of you have food, shelter, and clothing, and most of all, I pray every last one of you guys are in great health mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. God bless you all through Jesus.